Hello everybody, welcome to the Coffee Run Live. I don't know what number we're at. I can tell you it's Monday. I can tell you it is, in fact, the 3rd of August, and that it is my daughter's 19th birthday, my oldest daughter's 19th birthday, which is ridiculous. I can't even believe it. I don't know about you guys, but to me, it's just like, hey, Charlie, it's just completely insane. It's total insanity. Hey, Linda, that I even have a 19-year-old. It's ridiculous. So anyway, it's been a really interesting few days. And if you are not aware, I live in the state of Victoria, and I'm not in Metro Melbourne. So we've had mandatory masks become the thing of this week's most fabulous fashion accessory, mandatory fashion accessory as at midnight just last night. And we're going into stage 3 on Wednesday, stage 3 lockdown. So we'll be at stay-at-home orders, kids go back into homeschool, all of that, or remote learning, all of that kind of fun stuff. And so I thought that it was kind of timely that this is just a really quick live stream for you today. I wanted to let you know kind of what I'm doing, because I think from what I've seen and the way that the last stuff played out, the thing that really got people through was having something to focus on and having accountability, right? Hey, Rebecca, how are you? Hey, Carmen, thanks for coming on. Let me know that you can hear me. I've got my screen set up a little differently today. So the things that I wanted to share with you were, I guess, what I'm kind of thinking about. And so for me, what works really, really well for me, and what worked really well for me in the last lockdown, was making sure that I've got people to talk to, right? So having mentors and having peers around me that I can bounce things off. But also something that was super important for me was having a project. And having a project outside of like these 4 walls, as fabulous as these 4 walls are, with my graffiti wall and my black and white wall and my beach wall and my, 3 walls and a set of windows, my big French doors that are in front of me. It was really important that we had a project. And so what we did, we renovated a granny flat for my oldest daughter, who I just said it's her birthday today, crazy 19-year-old. So renovated that for her and her partner boyfriend to move into. So my husband and I have been talking about other projects to work on. And I think for me, what that does is it gives me, and it's something that we were working on most days, is it gave me something to look forward to at the end of a day. So it's not that I love showing up for you guys. I love doing this stuff. I love my clients. But for me, it was so important to have something external to all of this that I could look forward to, because even though we've been told that it's only 6 weeks, you guys know what this is like, right? It might be 6 weeks. It could be longer. It could be shorter if they're readjusting things. You know, we just don't know. And so I think one of the big things is having a project for you to work on. So I decided, because I kind of felt that this might be coming, but it's come a bit earlier than what I anticipated. I've decided to do a big free 1-day live event online that is going to be amazing. So all about visibility, putting yourself out there, marketing, and just doing everything that I can possibly do. So I've got that I've got to build the infrastructure around, build the marketing around, set dates for, and all of that kind of thing. So I've got a work project for that. I've also got Visible Live happening at the start of September, actually only a month away, over the 5th and 6th of September, which is a Saturday, Sunday. So for those of us in Victoria who have our kids home because of homeschooling, we don't have to homeschool them those 2 days. So we can get our kids looked after, or have our partners look after the kids if you have that flexibility and stuff like that. So I've got that in place. So for me, I've got 2 really core key things in work that I can focus on. And we've also got, hello Evie, we've also got we'll have an external project, which is going to be, I'm thinking we're going to be painting and doing other stuff around the house. Carmen said Greg has 6 house projects on the go. Oh golly, that sounds terrible. Only because if I had 6 house projects on the go, the house would be a freaking disaster, and then I would not even be able to think. It would be completely insane. But good on you, Greg, for keeping busy. I think that's really awesome. I think the other thing that came up last time, you know, we've been through this before, you guys. Maybe not quite, like, obviously not to stage 4 in Melbourne, but we've been through tough times. And one of the big things is also having, I think, some sense of accountability where you can say to someone else, look, this is, whether it's in a group or in a mastermind or a peer thing or, a mentor, coach, whoever, where you're saying, look, this is what it is that I'm going to do, and this is how it is that I'm going to do it. And having a safe space where you can talk about and share the things that are coming up. I think for me, one of the most insightful things, hey Kellyanne, one of the most insightful things over the past COVID lockdown for me was how like my mindset, I was like on fire some days, and then on other days I'm just like, oh my God, I can't even freaking think. I can't even focus. I can't do anything. Like I feel like my brain's just gone like, oh. And so the thing that I want to remind you all of is that your mental health is paramount. Right? Your mental health is paramount. And to me, what that means is that you've got to be looking after your mindset on a daily basis. Think about it like a garden. If you don't water that garden, if you don't nurture that garden, if you don't look after that garden, it's going to freaking die, or get frostbite, or something really bad. And so we want to like cultivate that beautiful fertile soil that is your mind and your mindset. And the way that I have found the best way to do that has been, number one, to talk about it. Number two, have a therapist if you don't have one, or a coach or a mentor that you can have these types of conversations with so that you can write it out. But it's also to be really kind and gracious and gentle with yourself. Hey, Carol. And I think one of the biggest things is that really noticing that what we're going through, and one of the stuff that tends to come up is that we tend to grieve what we've kind of clawed back. Like the way that I look at it is like it was really shit, and then we slowly started to get better, and then it feels like that's all to me anyway, feels like it's kind of been pulled out from underneath us. So I was ready to travel. I was ready to go see my parents in Adelaide and my brother and his family, my nieces and nephew. I was ready to go and see Joe over in Sydney. I was ready to go on freaking holiday and go to the beach that we were supposed to be doing in June. And so like there's a whole sense of, for a lot of us, there's a big sense of loss. There's a sense of grief. There's a sense of unfairness, perhaps anger. And I think the biggest thing is to understand that some days you'll feel like you're on top of the world, and other days you probably, quite frankly, won't. The best thing that I can suggest that you do is allow yourself the space to write it out. One of my best friends said to me last week, the world won't end because you don't show up to work one day. You're allowed to not go to work every day. So there might well be days where you're not able to work. That's okay. If you trust that you always make the right decisions and you've got these support mechanisms in place, if you trust that you always make the right decisions and that you always make the right choices for you, then it gives you a sense of freedom. Some days where you might be like, you know what, I really love doing this thing that I do, but today you're not going to get the best out of me. And that was a big part of what happened for me at the start of last week. I think I shared with you guys that I could not muster the energy last Monday, Tuesday to turn up and do the things that needed to be done, which in fact, I beat myself up over it for a little bit of a time. Let me give you the hot tip. But what I learned was I was supporting a client and her event on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I was speaking for her on Friday. And one of the things, and for her audience, and the thing for me that when I look back now retrospectively, had I not taken that time on Monday and Tuesday to do what needed to be done, to get my head in the game so that I was able to serve her and support her in the best way that I possibly could on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I would not have been able to be 100% present for her. I would not have been able to be 100% present for the clients who were speaking at that event. I would not have been 100% present for the keynote that I delivered on Friday. So it can feel almost counterintuitive, right? When you're in that mode of going, you know what, I've really got to do this. I've got to push through. You know, I can do this. I'm an achiever. I am relentless. I follow through on my commitments. You know, of course you do. That's great. But the commitment that you should always follow through on, first and foremost, is the commitment to you, your mental health, your productivity. And, you know, the world's not going to end. The internet's not going to explode. The sky will not fall down if you can't actually show up to work one day. All right. So there may well be sometimes over this next little bit where that happens. And I just want to give you, not that you need it from me, but, you know, permission, basically, that sometimes you just need to stop, and that's okay. And be really kind and be really gracious with yourself. I think the other really interesting thing and the other really important thing is to know that you're not alone, and that there are so many other people out there who are going through this stuff. It's really interesting. I had I was having a conversation with someone, it was either last week or the week before actually, and we were talking about mindset and do I ever, oh, that's right. It was on Monday or Tuesday, I think. And the conversation went along the lines of, you know, I don't know if you ever feel like this, but do you ever feel like it's hard to even find the passion for what you do and, you know, find the way forward and stuff like that? And I said, absolutely. You know, it takes grit to remain in business. It takes grit and courage and stamina and persistence when you're building and growing a business, particularly online. But the other thing is that it's you're not alone. We all have doubts. I had doubts at the start of last week whether or not this is what I was supposed to be doing. Those doubts last for about 30 seconds, right? As you build up your resilience and your tolerance and your grit, those moments are fewer and far between. And when they do hit, they hang around for less time. But it's really normal. So just be okay with that. Don't make any decisions. And this would be a personal rule that I would put in place if I were you. It's don't make decisions until you are in a really good mindset and until you're in a really, we've just had a delivery. And until you're in a really good place. Do you want to see what's in our delivery? Oh my God, I was being all serious and my husband's like just brought up this box. Did you guys hear the doorbell? Oh, nice stick.
Nice stick.
Oh, they're not as good as I thought they were going to be. This is what happens when you buy things off Wish.
Oh no, you went to Wish.
I thought these were going to be, so these are solar lights. We're having a deck built. I was being all serious and then all of these came in and it's like.
I was trying to be quiet.
Yes, trying to be quiet. So I thought these were going to be about 6 foot tall. They are not 6 foot tall. They're about maybe 60 centimeters long, I reckon. I was well off that. I hope they look pretty when they get lit. Oh my God. Hey Melly, how are you? So what I was saying, just to tie up and wrap up and close the loop of what I was just saying, don't make choices and decisions when you're tired. Don't make choices and decisions when you're feeling sad or stuck, okay? What you want to do is give yourself the time and the space to get your head in the game, to recalibrate, and really, and sometimes it won't take long, and sometimes it will happen really quickly, and sometimes it takes a week or a couple of days. Think and come back to remembering the stuff that lights you up, right? And that's the thing to keep coming back to. And you know what? If your business isn't lighting you up anymore, and if the stuff that you're doing isn't lighting you up anymore, maybe you just need to take a hot minute and come back to why it is that you did love it in the first place and go from there. But just don't make choices and decisions when things are in flux, because it's not always the best thing to do. All right. So there you go, my friends. That is our coffee run for you today. Have a fantastic, awesome, and amazing afternoon. I will, of course, see you tomorrow. What do you need to do? You need to get out there, go help some people, have a whole ton of fun doing it, and remember that the world is ready for your brand of awesomeness. I will see you tomorrow, if not before. Bye.